Good morning. I'm meteorologist Kevin Smith here again at the National Weather Service in Pocatello with another edition of your weather hazard briefing. This is for Sunday, December 4th, and we have some things to talk about this morning. Your headline, snow arrives today, but we might see some freezing rain, something we don't normally have in our forecast here in Southeast Idaho, at least for a few spots. So let's dig in here and talk about that. So key points here for the week. Our next storm has arrived. Snow is in the process of overspreading Southeast Idaho this morning. We're already seeing some of that on radar. The snow will continue throughout the day. It will linger into Monday morning, possibly affecting the commute, at least in some of the highland areas east of I-15. Outside of that, today is the main show. A little bit of good news there as far as mitigating some travel impacts. But couple points we want to make here. First, what we're going to focus on for the briefing this morning, we have introduced a chance of some sleet and freezing rain mixing in across portions of the eastern Magic Valley, the Raft River region, lower Snake Plain, and adjacent highlands this morning before we transition into more of a mostly snow but some lower elevation rain type scenario. So we're going to talk about that here in just a moment, try to time that out for you. Also want to continue to repeat here, even though snow totals with this new storm system are fairly modest, they're much lower than the amount of snow that we saw over the past week from our much stronger storm system. Remember, it doesn't take much snow, or in this case, much snow and ice, to make for some very slick travel conditions out there. So do not let your guard down, even though for most areas across Southeast Idaho, this will be a fairly modest, kind of weaker storm system. Outside of this, quiet, low-impact weather generally expected across the region through Thursday. A little more active after that as we get into the longer period of the forecast. May see a few light snow showers over the course of the week in the mountains, but generally not much going on there once we get today's system out of the way. Opening up with a satellite image this morning, you can see the parent low pressure system here spinning off the coast of Oregon. Very well defined here on the satellite loop. Nice spin and the white cloud cover here where I have the low pressure center marked. But it's all of this moisture and cloud cover streaming northeast across California, Nevada, and now penetrating into Idaho here this morning. That's really going to be the piece of the puzzle that's bringing us precipitation across the region today. And it's already here with precipitation right on our doorstep as of the recording this morning. Weather risk outlook, breaking all this down by geographic area here over the next 5 days. You can see the impacts are predominantly today. We've highlighted everyone region-wide with some moderate risk here, moderate risk orange shading. Again, it doesn't take a lot of snow or ice to make road conditions quite slick. So we want everyone to be very mindful of the potential of winter driving conditions today across the region. Mixed bag here in portions of the Snake Plain, again, eastern Magic Valley, Raft River region, South Hills, of some snow, possibly mixing with sleet and freezing rain this morning, eventually getting some rain into the picture as temperatures warm up this afternoon. I know we put this in here for the Snake Plain, really kind of keying in on maybe as far east as Pocatello and Blackfoot on the freezing rain risk. Not so much for you up in Idaho Falls and Rexburg, where we're expecting cooler temperatures to really hold on to snow as the predominant precipitation type up there. As we go into tomorrow, we'll be improving impact-wise. There may still be a little bit of light snow activity up in portions of the Central Mountains near Stanley and Lemhi County. Also in the southern and eastern highlands, generally east of I-15. Generally minor impacts from any lingering snow showers there. And then low confidence on maybe a few light snow showers continuing Tuesday and Wednesday in portions of the southern and eastern highlands as well. But generally trending into much less impactful weather, quieter weather as we go into Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday this week. Watch warning and advisory map this morning, a little more colorful. First, anywhere you see purple is where a winter weather advisory has been issued by not only us, but our surrounding other weather service offices here that cover other forecast areas. The areas in purple are either expecting some of the highest snowfall totals of this event, in some cases getting up there 4 inches, 5 inches, 6 inches, or in the case of south central Idaho, down where my cursor is here, this is the corridor we're worried about for freezing rain. Not expecting significant snow down here, maybe an inch or two for a few spots, and we're even going to see some rain mix in here this afternoon. But for this morning, this corridor here from Jackpot and Twin Falls and Shoshone, eastward through Burley, the Raft River region, some of the valleys here into the highlands, places like Rockland, possibly as far east as Pocatello and Blackfoot and maybe Ingham. Again, mixed bag of precipitation with potentially some freezing rain and sleet mixing into the picture here. For the areas in tan, we've issued a special weather statement. Those are areas where we're generally expecting a little bit less snowfall, but we still put basically just a text weather statement out there saying, hey, be aware of some snowfall, slow down, watch out for some slick conditions on the roadways here with this system. Here's where we're starting out for temperatures this morning. This is why we're going to be concerned. I'm going to explain some mechanics here in a minute. This is why we're concerned about some mixed precipitation types. It's very cold as we open things up this morning, at least down here at the ground. Here's where we're headed on the right for high temperatures by this afternoon. You can see that corridor we talked about for rainfall, Twin Falls through Burley, possibly into Pocatello, getting into at least the upper 30s by later this afternoon, while temperatures generally in the lower 30s, even some upper 20s, will continue to support snowfall for most of the rest of the region. So like we often do, let's step through and give you an hour by hour kind of visual on how this might play out today. I want to warn everyone again, this is just one of many high-resolution models we look at. They're not all going to show the exact same picture, so don't get too caught up in exactly which city is being hit at exactly which hour. What we're looking for here is the general trends, the general flavor that the model is giving us as we go through the course of the day. For those who are into models, this is the 3-kilometer NAM, or the NAM nest, that I've chosen to show this morning. So kicking things off at 6 a.m., here comes the precipitation. Blue is snow. A little bit of green, kind of picking up on some rain. I think this is going to be predominantly snow this early in the morning based on the temperatures out there. But as I go to 7 a.m. and then 8 a.m., you can actually see this first little band kind of moves out into the Snake Plain. We kind of see potentially a break down here from Pocatello into the Eastern Magic Valley. Not all of the models are showing this type of break. So again, don't get too hung up in some of the details here. Some of the models are keeping a little bit more widespread precipitation going down in this corridor, even at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. Here's the 9 o'clock picture. We have some of that snow starting to penetrate into the Central Mountains, into more of the Snake Plain region. By 10 o'clock, this particular model is bringing in another band of some precipitation here into the Magic Valley, and we start to get colorful. Okay, we start to see some rain, we start to see some pink, which is potentially freezing rain, moving into places like Twin Falls, Shoshone, Burley, Raft River area. This is a pretty good depiction based on all the data we've looked at this morning of kind of the main area of concern, basically from 7 to 10 a.m., right in the area that's shaded here. There's a lot of moving parts. This is a very low confidence scenario forecast here as far as precipitation type is concerned this morning. Okay, there's a lot of moving parts going on. We have warm air just off the surface, a warm nose surging in from the southwest. But down at the ground, right at the surface where everyone lives, it's still cold. Remember, we showed you those very cold low temperatures that we're opening up with this morning. And we have a northeast flow, a little bit of a northeast breeze coming down the Snake Plain from up near Rexburg and Island Park down into the Eastern Magic Valley. That northeast flow at the surface is going to be stubborn. I think it's going to hold on for the morning. It's going to tend to reinforce some of that cold, sub-freezing air right at the ground, even as we try to bring in warmer above freezing air just off the ground on top of it. So again, some mechanics going on here, a lot of moving parts. Any one of these components I just talked about, if it's a little stronger, if it's a little weaker, if the timing is a little off, all of that is going to affect our temperature profile, and that's going to affect exactly what type of precipitation we're seeing at the ground. So very low confidence. This is a scenario where one location may be seeing one precipitation type with no travel impacts, and then you drive just a few miles away and you may be seeing a completely different precipitation type with some significant travel impacts or icing occurring on roadways. So that's the type of flavor we're expecting for the morning down here in this corridor. Again, Eastern Magic Valley, Raft River, possibly as far east as the Pocatello area. By 11 a.m. and noon, You can see a nice expansion, widespread precipitation across the region. We're still holding on to some of that mixed precipitation, that sleet and freezing rain potential here into the eastern Magic Valley, possibly as far east as Pocatello. But as soon as we pass about noon, I think this is when temperatures are going to start to warm up at the surface enough. We're going to scour out some of that surface cold air and start to introduce a better chance of plain rain for places like Twin Falls and Burley, again, possibly east of Pocatello, whereas the rest of the region, you can see a lot of blue here, snow likely to continue. 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock this afternoon, lots of big patches of precipitation continuing across the region. Again, mostly snow, but some rain down here in the Interstate corridor. Again, places like Idaho Falls and Rexburg are probably going to favor snow. I think the temperatures are going to stay cold enough all day for snow to be the predominant precipitation type. 5, 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m. this evening. We're starting to see a trend as we get after dark of the precipitation moving off to the east. We'll start to shut things down across most of the forecast area. And then by 9, 10 p.m., and then 11 p.m. tonight, lingering snow showers are generally going to favor areas east of I-15, and some of that may continue into the Monday morning commute. By the time all is said and done, here's what we're looking at for our latest storm total snowfall forecast. Again, the amounts are not that crazy by Idaho standards. They're much lower than the system that we just recently saw, but still could see some slick travel. People do need to take some precautions if you're driving. Looking at generally 1 to 4 inches for most of the region, but some of the higher elevations here in the Sawtooths and around the Wood River Valley may be seeing more than 4 inches. Also up here in the Island Park region, the Big Hole Mountains down into the Bear River Range, seeing some amounts more like 3 to 6 inches, and even some 6 to 10 inch amounts as you get up to mountain passes or higher. If you're going to be out in the backcountry, skiing, hunting, anything like that, anywhere you see this yellow shading, looking at the potential for more than 6 inches of snow out of this system through Monday morning. Here's your percent chance probability of seeing 1 inch or more of snow. Very high in many of our mountain areas. Pretty questionable down here at the lower elevations where we're expecting that mixed precipitation to come in this morning. But as we go to the percent chance of 4 inches of snow or more, we really limit that to some of our mountain areas, just not seeing enough moisture to have anything like that fall for places like Idaho Falls, Pocatello, Burley, some of our bigger population centers at lower elevations. High temperatures shown here, Monday on the left, Tuesday on the right. We're going to be a little bit cooler. Temperatures generally in the 20s to low 30s. And then as we advance through the week, actually cooling just a little bit more. Wednesday here on the left, temperatures in the 20s for just about everyone during the afternoon. High temperatures for Thursday here on the right, very similar, again with a quieter week beyond this storm system. So went a little bit long this morning, but a lot to talk about. Again, please don't let your guard down from today through Monday morning. There may be some slick travel out there. Best chance for some of that sleet and freezing rain, low confidence chance is focused on this morning, particularly through about noon for the eastern Magic Valley, Raft River region, lower Snake Plain, and adjacent highlands. That's it for your briefing today. As always, please reach out if you have any questions for us, and everyone have a safe Sunday.